How can one be masculine and feminine, everything and nothing, destroyer and creator, monk and warrior, master of both poison and medicine? This is Shiva, one of the most important gods in all of Hinduism, and to many, Mahadeva, the supreme being. Known by 1,000 names and associated with many different aspects of the natural world, Shiva is a complex and multifaceted god central to Hindu traditions and practices. Shiva literally means the auspicious one or the liberator. The modern origins of Shiva date back to pre-Vedic India, with Dravidian roots in the ancient Indus Valley, considered one of the cradles of civilization nearly 4,000 years ago. The Vedas were four bodies of religious texts for these Indo-Aryan tribes that were written in Sanskrit and are considered the oldest texts of what became Hinduism. Here, Shiva is often referred to as Rudra, the roarer. Emblems have been discovered with a horned figure in a yogic pose called Pajapati, Lord of the Animals, which is one of Shiva's names. It is here that we see Proto-Shiva develop into a major god, as religious texts like the Upanishads assert all gods are Rudra Shiva. Everyone and everything is Rudra Shiva, and Rudra Shiva is the principle found in all things, their highest goal, the innermost essence of all reality that is visible or invisible. Literature develops around this absolute oneness, that is, Shiva is within every living being. Shiva is present everywhere in the world, including all non-living beings, and there is no spiritual difference between life, matter, man, and Shiva. Atman, the universal soul within you, I, and everything else in the universe. Shiva's origin predates these civilizations, with primitive symbology quite unique than any other deva or god. The Bhimbetka rock shelters from the Paleolithic and Mesolithic eras of the Stone Age have evidence of being inhabited nearly 100,000 years ago. The earliest paintings that still survive in these caves have images that scholars have identified as Shiva, his trident, and his mount, Nandi, the beautiful white bull, and these date back almost 10,000 years. Shiva is perhaps the oldest continuously worshipped god in the world. The figure of Shiva as we know him today is thus an amalgamation of various older deities into a single figure as civilization grew in India. Shiva has some fascinating, diametrically opposed attributes which challenge Western perceptions of God. Shiva is often depicted as a fierce, powerful, primal, cosmic deity who wields great control over the natural world and is associated with Agni, the deva of fire. He has no origin because he is primordial. One of the most complex aspects of Shiva is his dual nature as both destroyer and regenerator. Often associated with death and destruction, he is also the god of fertility and regeneration. This duality is reflected in the crescent moon resting on his forehead, which represents both the destructive and regenerative powers of the waxing and waning moon. His third eye is closed until the end of time, upon which it will open and destroy the world. It represents his wisdom and insight, and is associated with the production of art and culture, of which he is the major patron. Covered in ashes, these serve as a symbolic reminder that all physical existence is transient and ultimately turns to ash, making the search for an eternal self and spiritual freedom crucial. His throat is blue, Nilakanda, which refers to when he swallowed the lethal halahala poison in the beginning of the universe to save all future life. Shiva is usually depicted meditating intensely at his abode in Mount Kailash, deep in the Himalayas. The god of yoga and meditation, he attained enlightenment through his practice of yoga. He is the Adi Yogi, the first yogi, and is considered to be the source of all yogic knowledge and practice. As such, he is often invoked by those who are practicing yoga, and is considered to be a guide and mentor for those who are seeking to deepen their practice. Among his many hands he holds Trishula, the mighty trident which represents the three aspects of reality: creation, preservation, and destruction. He also holds Damaru, a small drum that represents the sound of the universe at the moment of creation and destruction. His neck is garlanded with the king cobra, Vasuki, which represents the power of destruction and the cycle of death and rebirth. Snakes shedding their skin has historically been associated with immortality, and they're revered across India. Shiva's hair is matted and wild, much like the power of nature that cannot be tamed or controlled. This symbolism aligns with his role as the god of nature and the elements, particularly storms. It also represents renunciation and asceticism, as Shiva is someone who has renounced the material world in pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. From his hair flows a sacred river, Ganga. And of course, he sits on tiger skin, the most fearsome and powerful predator. All in all, Shiva is a god of ambiguity and paradox, whose attributes include starkly opposing themes, which are characterized in his many forms. Shiva's roles are just as complex as his attributes, and they are hard to marry. For example, Shiva is both a monk and a loyal husband and father. These are traditionally considered mutually exclusive in India. He is the consort of Parvati, the goddess of power, energy, nourishment, harmony, love, beauty, devotion, and motherhood. Like her husband, Parvati has a terrifying demon-slaying form such as Durga and Kali. Their relationship is often held up as an ideal for married couples, because they are seen as the embodiment of balance and harmony for a successful relationship, with Shiva representing the destructive and regenerative aspects of the universe, and Parvati representing the creative and nurturing aspects. Through her, he is the father of the extremely popular gods Ganesha, the elephant-headed god of good luck and remover of obstacles, and Kartikeya, or Murugan, the god of war. Shiva himself is the ultimate warrior, master of all celestial weaponry and invincible. All major warriors pray to Shiva, and he himself is the greatest slayer of demons. In Kerala, Shivan is worshipped as the first guru and creator of the martial art Kalaripayattu. It is from here that all gurus trace their lineage. Perhaps one of the most famous expressions of Shiva is as Nataraja, the Lord of Dance, dancing the wild, ecstatic Tandava, the dance that will destroy the universe at the end of time so that it can be rebuilt again. The cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth is essential to Hinduism, and this role of destruction is not seen as evil, but rather necessary for creation again. Here, he dances within a circle of flames, the cosmic fire that creates everything and consumes everything, and represents the evils and dangers, as well as the lights and joys of daily life, this movement being both the end and the origin of life. In some traditions, Hanuman, the immortal monkey god of wisdom, strength, courage, devotion, and self-discipline, who features prominently in the Hindu epic the Ramayana, serving as an aide of Lord Rama, is an avatar of Shiva on earth. Shiva is worshipped in an abstract and iconic form known as the Lingam. It's a cylindrical pillar made of stone, metal, gem, wood, clay, or precious stones, and is considered the outward form of a formless being. Many have interpreted it as a phallic symbol. It is often placed in a yoni, a flat horizontal disc, designed to allow offerings like milk, water, flowers, fruit, fresh leaves, and rice to drain away for collection. Together, they symbolize the merging of the microcosmos and the macrocosmos, the divine eternal process of creation and regeneration, and the union of feminine and the masculine, similar to the concept of yin and yang in Chinese philosophy. Linga is meant to showcase that Shiva transcends any characterization, including gender. Shiva is in many ways a difficult concept to understand today. Simultaneously, he's fascinating because he represents the duality of humanity, our capacity for both destruction and creation, our complexity in both benevolence and power, our relationship with the natural world and within ourselves. If this piqued your interest in Hinduism and you want to learn more or want to share more, I'd love to hear in the comments below.